A wave is coming, subtle yet undeniable, and it arrives with the quiet power of midnight on the 29th and 30th of November. It is not a wave you see with your eyes or touch with your hands, but one that moves through your being. At this precise time, as the world sleeps and the noise of the day fades, a special energy flows into your life. It asks nothing from you except presence, and it offers everything if you are willing to receive it. This is the moment when the ordinary can transform into the extraordinary, when the burdens you carry can be lifted, and the weight of the past can finally be set aside. Midnight on these nights is not just an hour, it is a portal, a chance to step into clarity and begin to understand the depth of your own resilience. You may not feel it at first. It does not announce itself with fireworks or loud proclamation. Its arrival is gentle, almost imperceptible, but those who pause, who stop chasing distractions, will sense it. It enters quietly, weaving through your thoughts, touching the edges of your heart, reminding you of what has been hidden or ignored. There is a healing in this, a soft but unshakable force that tells you it is time to release what no longer serves you. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November is a natural gateway. It is the moment when reflection meets action, when silence becomes a teacher, and when your own inner light begins to guide you with greater clarity than ever before. This wave is not something external. It is not a magic that someone else can give you. It is a mirror of what already exists inside you. The energy you feel is a reflection of your readiness, your willingness to let go, and your courage to face your own truth. As the clock strikes midnight on the 29th, the opportunity appears. If you are distracted, if your mind is scattered, you may miss it. But if you still yourself, if you allow yourself to be fully present, you will feel a subtle shift, a current moving through your chest and heart, unblocking spaces that have been closed for too long. And as the 30th unfolds into midnight again, the wave deepens, reinforcing what has begun, solidifying the inner changes that are waiting to take root. The power of these nights is that they demand nothing but honesty. You cannot fake your openness. You cannot hide from yourself. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is a time when the truth of your own heart becomes unavoidable. You may see the patterns you have repeated, the ways you have allowed fear to dictate your choices, the ways you have held onto anger or sadness. The wave does not judge. It does not demand perfection. It simply asks that you acknowledge what is real and make a choice to step forward. There is a freedom in this, a liberation that comes from seeing clearly and accepting fully. There's also a rhythm to it, a natural cadence that the universe has orchestrated. Just as the moon shines differently during these nights, so does your mind and spirit respond to this specific time. There is a clarity, a sensitivity, a heightened awareness that is rare in other hours. It is as if the entire world pauses for you, creating a space where your heart can speak freely, where your soul can exhale, and where the weight of accumulated days can finally lift. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November is the canvas on which you can rewrite the narrative of your life if only you dare to notice and act. This is the time to shed layers that are heavy, to release doubts that have long crowded your mind. The wave carries the potential for renewal, for transformation. It does not force change, but it empowers it. You are invited to let go of the old habits, old fears, and old limitations that have been silently shaping your life. To resist is to remain in the same cycle. To embrace is to step into the possibility of something entirely new. And when you do embrace it, you will feel a shift that is quiet yet profound, a subtle yet powerful movement that flows through your entire being, leaving space for growth, for insight, and for a deeper connection to yourself. The nights of the 29th and 30th are unique. There's no repetition like this. Time itself seems to bend slightly to allow this energy to enter fully. If you honor it, if you recognize its presence, you will find that your mind becomes clearer, your heart softer, and your spirit lighter. This is not a fleeting moment. The wave that arrives in these hours has the potential to ripple through your life in ways that extend far beyond midnight. It is a gift disguised in quietness, a teacher that speaks in silence, a force that asks only for your awareness. So when midnight approaches on the 29th, prepare to be still. Listen to the subtle currents around you and within you. When it returns at midnight on the 30th, deepen your focus and allow yourself to fully surrender to its guidance. This is your chance to step into a new level of understanding, to clear away the old, and to embrace a more vibrant, empowered version of yourself. This wave is gentle but unwavering. It flows only for those willing to notice, to pause, and to grow. It enters your life with purpose, and if you allow it, it will leave you transformed, aligned, and ready to face the world with renewed clarity and strength. The moment is here. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November is your invitation. Do not ignore it. Do not hesitate. Let the wave touch you. Let it guide you. Let it heal you. Growth begins in this quiet space, in this sacred interval where the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. It is not outside of you. It is within you. The wave only shows you what has always been waiting, the power to heal, to rise, and to embrace life fully. The midnight hours of the 29th and 30th of November bring a rare opportunity, a moment when the air itself seems to hold a quiet promise of renewal. During these nights, the energy surrounding you is powerful yet gentle, inviting you to look within, to release what has weighed heavily on your heart. Emotional cleansing is not a process that can be forced or hurried. It comes when you are ready, when you allow yourself to confront the truths you have hidden, the fears you have ignored, and the burdens you have carried far too long. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is a time when the world slows down, when distractions fade, and the raw reality of your inner life rises to the surface. It is a time to face yourself honestly, without excuses, without masks. This is the moment when you can finally see the emotional clutter that has been accumulating, anger that has settled quietly, resentment that has been nursing itself in shadowed corners, grief that you have tucked away. All of it comes to the surface under the quiet light of midnight. There is no judgment in this. The night itself offers only the chance to observe, to understand, and to let go. When the clock strikes midnight on the 29th, notice what rises in your heart. Recognize it, accept it, and allow the first gentle wave of release. And as the night passes into midnight on the 30th, deepen this process. Let the cleansing continue. Let it stretch through the hours, washing away what no longer serves you. These two nights are a rare alignment, a window when emotional energy is heightened, when the mind and heart are more receptive to change. Releasing emotional baggage requires courage. It is not easy to look at yourself without flinching, to see patterns that have repeated, to confront memories that sting. But midnight on the 29th and 30th provides a safe space. In these hours, the world around you is quiet, still, and open. You can sit with yourself without interruption. You can allow your thoughts to surface, to flow freely, without the constant pull of obligation or distraction. The night encourages honesty. It whispers that what you have been carrying does not define you, that what has happened does not need to continue shaping your tomorrow. Emotional cleansing is about reclaiming your space, your energy, and your peace. When you release, you do not erase. You do not forget. You acknowledge. You honor your experiences, your pain, and your growth. Midnight on the 29th and 30th asks you to honor yourself in this way. Let go of grudges, of anger, of guilt. Let go of the stories that have trapped you in patterns of fear or sadness. As you do, you create a space within yourself that has never been available before. It is in this space that true growth begins, that clarity emerges, that the heart learns to breathe freely again. The energy of these nights supports this process. It is a gentle force, persistent yet patient, flowing into your being in a way that is deeply restorative. The act of cleansing your emotions also sharpens your awareness. When you release, you see the world more clearly without the distortions of past pain. Midnight on the 29th and 30th amplifies this clarity. It is as though the veil that has been clouding your perception lifts, and you can finally witness the patterns, choices, and relationships in your life with honesty. You begin to understand yourself better, to recognize the emotional triggers that have guided your actions, and to see how freedom from them is possible. This is not an abstract concept. It is practical. It is immediate. Emotional cleansing during these nights gives you tools to act differently, to respond with awareness instead of reaction, and to move forward with purpose rather than inertia. These hours also teach the value of presence. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is a reminder that emotional release cannot be rushed. You cannot force clarity. You cannot demand healing. The night asks only that you be present, that you allow the flow to happen naturally. Sit with your feelings. Observe without judgment. Feel the tension, the heaviness, the release as it comes. Let the tears, the sighs, the quiet laughter of recognition pass through you. Every moment of acknowledgement is a step toward liberation. Every breath is a confirmation that you are willing to meet yourself fully and without fear. As the 2 nights pass, the impact of this emotional cleansing stretches beyond the hours themselves. You carry the peace, the clarity, and the renewed energy into your days. The midnight wave that arrives on the 29th and 30th does not simply dissipate with sunrise. It leaves a trace in your heart, a rhythm in your mind, a subtle strength that anchors you in moments of challenge. This is the power of allowing yourself to release at the right time, to honor the natural flow of energy, and to embrace the opportunity that these unique nights present. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November is not just a marker of time. It is an invitation to transform, to cleanse, and to reclaim your emotional life. Do not resist it, do not dismiss it. Allow yourself to feel deeply, to release fully, and to step into the following day lighter, stronger, and more aligned with who you truly are. This is the gift of these nights, the chance to let go, to heal, and to open yourself to a life that reflects your truest potential. The emotional cleansing you do now will ripple through every aspect of your being, shaping a future defined not by what you have carried, but by the freedom and clarity you have chosen to embrace. At midnight on the 29th and 30th of November, there is a shift in perception, a subtle awakening that cannot be ignored. These hours are unlike any other, carrying a clarity that penetrates the noise of everyday life. During this time, your intuition heightens naturally. Thoughts that once felt confusing begin to settle, and insights emerge as if illuminated by a quiet inner light. Midnight on these nights is not just a moment in time, it is an alignment, a rare opportunity to access the wisdom that already exists within you. The world slows, distractions fade, and you are left with yourself, your mind, your heart, and the possibility to see beyond the ordinary. Intuition is not magic. It is the voice of your experience, your awareness, and your truth speaking clearly when the noise of life softens. Midnight on the 29th and 30th provides the perfect conditions to hear it. The heart opens more easily in these hours. The mind calms, and the space to listen grows wider. You will notice thoughts arise that have been buried under doubt or overthinking, insights that guide your next step, and moments of clarity that illuminate decisions you have been avoiding. These nights invite you to trust yourself, to recognize that the answers you seek have always been within, and that by paying attention during these specific hours, you can access them with remarkable precision. There is a natural stillness at midnight on the 29th and 30th that allows your senses to align with the subtle currents around you. This stillness is not emptiness, it is fertile ground. It is in this silence that intuition speaks most loudly, that understanding unfolds, and that awareness sharpens. Your inner voice becomes unmistakable. You begin to notice patterns in your life, the consequences of choices, the hidden motivations behind actions, and the opportunities waiting silently for recognition. Midnight on these nights is a mirror that reflects the truth of your life back to you. The wave of awareness that arrives is gentle yet powerful, asking only that you observe, listen, and act. During these hours, there is a remarkable chance to anticipate what lies ahead. Intuition, when sharpened, allows you to navigate life with greater confidence. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is a time to observe your surroundings, to feel the undercurrents of relationships, situations, and personal challenges. This is when decisions become clearer, when paths that were once hidden reveal themselves, and when the choices you make are more aligned with your highest good. The energy of these nights supports not only perception but discernment. It helps you separate what is essential from what is distraction, what serves your growth from what hinders it, and what is truth from what is illusion. Trusting your intuition is a practice, and the midnight hours of the 29th and 30th are the perfect training ground. The world will not give you a louder sign than these nights. The energy is pure, the moment is precise, and the opportunity to connect with your inner guidance is undeniable. The more you attune yourself to it, the stronger your clarity will become. You will find yourself recognizing patterns in your behavior and decisions with a newfound understanding. You will feel a natural pull toward actions that are aligned with your authentic self. The lessons of these nights are not theoretical. They are practical, immediate, and transformative. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is also a time for reflection on past experiences. Intuition does not exist in a vacuum. It is informed by the lessons you have lived, the challenges you have overcome, and the growth you have achieved. During these hours, reviewing your past with an open heart and clear mind allows you to see where your instincts were correct, where fear or doubt may have clouded judgment, and how your understanding can evolve. The energy at this time encourages honesty with yourself. It pushes you to recognize not only your strengths, but also the areas where you need attention and improvement. This awareness is a gift, a guide to navigating life with precision and wisdom. The value of intuition at midnight on the 29th and 30th is that it empowers action. It is not a passive experience. When you sense guidance during these hours, it is meant to move you forward, to spark change, and to inspire decisions that enhance your life. Acting on the clarity you gain, even in small ways, reinforces your connection to your inner wisdom. Each choice you make with awareness strengthens your ability to trust yourself, build confidence, and creates a momentum that carries beyond the hours of these nights. The wave that comes is not temporary. It sets a tone that can ripple through your life, influencing your growth, your relationships, and your path forward. These nights are a reminder that self-trust is cultivated in moments of stillness and attention. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is a natural teacher, showing that when you pause and listen, insight emerges. It is a call to honor your inner guidance, to recognize the subtle signals of your intuition, and to act upon them with courage. By doing so, you step into alignment with your own truth, letting go of doubt, hesitation, and the influence of external noise. The midnight hours of the 29th and 30th of November carry a rare clarity. They invite you to pause, observe, and listen to the wisdom within. This is a time when your instincts are sharpened, your perception heightened, and your understanding deepened. By engaging fully in these moments, by honoring the guidance that emerges, you awaken the power within yourself to navigate life with insight, confidence, and alignment. The wave of intuition at these times is a gift, a direct path to self-growth, and a reminder that the answers you seek have always been inside you, waiting for the quiet of midnight to reveal them fully. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November is a sacred time, a space when the world falls away and you are left alone with your mind and your heart. These hours hold a rare power for reflection and meditation, a chance to look inward without distraction and to meet yourself fully. In these moments, the usual chaos of life quiets, and the mind becomes fertile ground for insight, clarity, and transformation. It is a time to pause, to observe your thoughts, to feel your emotion deeply, and to understand the patterns that have guided your life. The nights of the 29th and 30th call for presence. They ask you to stop running from yourself, to set aside the busyness of the day, and to allow the stillness to teach you. Reflection at this time is not mere thinking. It is a conscious engagement with your own life. It is a practice of seeing clearly, of understanding the consequences of your choice, and of recognizing the moments where fear, doubt, or habit have held you back. Midnight on the 29th and 30th amplifies this awareness. The quiet of the night is not emptiness, it is a mirror. It reflects the truth of your inner world, showing both the light you carry and the shadows you have ignored. In these hours, meditation becomes more than a practice. It becomes a bridge between who you are and who you can become. Sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and observing your mind aloud. The energy of these nights to guide you toward clarity and wisdom. During midnight on the 29th and 30th, the power of meditation is heightened because the world itself is aligned with reflection. There is less noise, less distraction, and fewer demands pulling at your attention. The energy of these hours is subtle but unmistakable. It moves through you, urging you to release what no longer serves you, to forgive what has caused you pain, and to let go of attachments that weigh heavily on your heart. This is a time to cleanse the mind as well as the soul. The stillness of midnight gives your thoughts space to unfold naturally, and in that space, understanding emerges effortlessly. Self-reflection at this time teaches honesty. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is a teacher that shows you what you may have avoided in daylight, the fears, the regrets, the choices that have held you back. There is no judgment in this process, only observation. You see yourself as you are, not as you wish to be. And in that seeing, there is power. There is an opportunity to act with awareness, to make decisions not from habit or fear, but from clarity and understanding. The energy of these nights supports this process. It encourages courage, patience, and compassion for yourself. It allows you to face your truths without resistance and to discover the strength that comes from acceptance. Meditation in these hours becomes a conversation with your own soul. As the clock strikes midnight on the 29th, you are invited to sit quietly to notice the thoughts that arise, to feel the emotions that surface, and to allow the energy of reflection to flow through you. And as midnight arrives again on the 30th, this practice deepens. The insights that emerge are not fleeting. They are the seeds of transformation. You begin to recognize patterns in your thinking, recurring habits, and the ways in which you have unconsciously limited yourself. In this clarity, you find freedom. You understand that growth is not about changing everything at once, but about observing, learning, and adjusting with awareness. The power of meditation and reflection at midnight on the 29th, 30th also lies in its ability to connect you with your intuition. When the mind is calm and the heart open, the subtle guidance that has always been within you becomes clear. The nights remove the distractions of fear, noise, and expectation, leaving you receptive to the wisdom that flows naturally. You begin to see the choices that align with your path, the actions that reflect your true values, and the ways in which you can navigate challenges with greater ease. Midnight on these nights is a portal, a time when the ordinary mind can access extraordinary insight. These hours also teach patience and presence. Reflection and meditation are not hurried processes. Midnight on the 29th and 30th reminds you that growth comes in its own time, and that understanding emerges when you allow yourself to be fully present. There is no need to force clarity, no need to rush the process. Sitting in stillness, breathing, observing, and reflecting, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of life. You learn to trust your own awareness, to honor your inner guidance, and to act with intention. The energy of these nights supports you in this practice, offering strength and focus, quieting distractions, and deepening your connection with yourself. As midnight passes on the 29th, and again on the 30th, the impact of reflection and meditation lingers. It shapes your perspective, sharpens your intuition, and strengthens your capacity for conscious action. The clarity gained in these hours allows you to move through your days with greater awareness, to make decisions from a place of presence rather than reaction, and to navigate challenges with balance and calm. The practice of sitting quietly, observing, and reflecting in these hours becomes a foundation for ongoing self-growth, a discipline that supports transformation and alignment with your highest self. The midnight hours of the 29th and 30th of November are not just moments in time. They are opportunities to connect with yourself deeply, to observe honestly, and to meditate with purpose. In these sacred nights, reflection becomes a tool for liberation, meditation becomes a doorway to clarity, and presence becomes a path to transformation. By embracing these hours fully, by sitting with yourself, observing, and allowing insight to flow, you awaken a power within that guides your growth, strengthens your understanding, and aligns your life with truth. These nights are a gift, a chance to step into clarity, to embrace self-awareness, and to walk forward into a life shaped by conscious intention and deep inner wisdom. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November carries a rare energy that touches not only your inner world, but the way you relate to those around you. In these quiet hours, relationships can shift, heal, and deepen, but only if you are present and willing to embrace the subtle guidance that the night offers. These hours are not about forcing connection or chasing approval. They are about seeing clearly, feeling deeply, and acting with honesty and integrity. Midnight on these nights allows you to step outside the patterns that have kept your relationships stagnant, the misunderstandings that have created distance, and the unspoken tensions that have lingered too long. Connection begins within. The energy of midnight on the 29th and 30th encourages you to reflect on how your own emotions, fears, and habits influence the way you relate to others. Often, distance in relationships arises not from others, but from the walls we build inside ourselves. Anger, pride, resentment, and unhealed wounds create invisible barriers. When you allow yourself to pause during these nights, to sit in the quiet, to feel your heart fully, you begin to notice these walls. Midnight on these nights acts as a gentle force, exposing what has blocked warmth, empathy, and understanding. The first step towards stronger, healthier relationships is always self-awareness. These nights invite a profound honesty. When midnight arrives on the 29th, the stillness allows you to see the way you may have acted unconsciously, the words left unsaid, the gestures neglected. You are called to recognize your role in the dynamics of your relationships without judgment. And when midnight comes again on the 30th, the reflection deepens. You are able to understand patterns more clearly, to notice recurring conflict, and to sense the emotional currents that flow beneath the surface. This understanding is not abstract, it is practical. It gives you the tools to engage differently, to respond rather than react, and to choose actions that build rather than divide. The power of midnight on the 29th and 30th lies in its ability to heighten sensitivity and empathy. In these hours, the world is quiet, and your heart is open. You begin to feel not only your own emotions more clearly, but the subtle vibrations of those around you. This awareness allows you to connect in ways that are authentic and meaningful. Small gestures, sincere words, and patient listening carry more weight because they arise from clarity and presence. Relationships strengthen when both honesty and compassion guide your interactions, and midnight on these nights provides the perfect conditions to cultivate both. Forgiveness also becomes possible during these hours. Old grievances, past hurts, and lingering disappointments often cloud connection. Midnight on the 29th and 30th encourages a release of the burdens, not for the sake of others, but for your own freedom. Carrying resentment binds your energy and prevents genuine intimacy. Letting go, even quietly in your own heart during these nights, opens the space for trust, understanding, and renewed harmony. The act of forgiving, of softening your heart, is a gift you give to yourself as much as to those around you. It creates a ripple effect that strengthens relationships and nurtures mutual respect. Presence is key. Midnight on the 29th and 30th teaches that the quality of attention you give shapes the depth of connection. When you are fully present, even in small moments, you communicate care, respect, and awareness. The energy of these nights supports deep listening and genuine engagement. You notice what is said and unsaid, what is expressed openly, and what is hidden in gestures and silence. These hours teach that understanding another requires the willingness to see clearly and to feel without judgment. When you embrace this, you create relationships that are resilient, supportive, and rich with mutual trust. Action flows naturally from this awareness. The midnight energy of the 29th and 30th does not demand grand gestures. It values authenticity. Simple acts, guided by clarity and understanding, carry profound significance. A sincere apology, a kind word, a willingness to listen without defending, all become powerful tools for strengthening bonds. These nights illuminate the paths where your presence and intention can create lasting impact. When you act from the insight gained during these hours, you are no longer trapped in cycle of misunderstanding, but moving toward connection that is honest, supportive, and fulfilling. These nights also encourage reflection on boundaries. Healthy relationships are not about losing yourself or bending endlessly to others. Midnight on the 29th and 30th reveals where you may have compromised your integrity, allowed patterns to dictate your responses, or neglected your own needs. Understanding and setting boundaries does not distance you. It clarifies your interactions, creating space for genuine respect and mutual growth. The clarity that emerges during these hours allows you to see where compassion meets firmness, and where love thrives alongside self-respect. By the time midnight passes on the 30th, the energy leaves a lasting impression. You carry forward not only insights about others, but a deeper understanding of yourself. You recognize your role in relationships, your capacity to influence connection positively, and your ability to engage with clarity and empathy. The reflection, the presence, the awareness, and the action cultivated during these nights ripple outward, touching every interaction you have. Relationships become more than routine. They become conscious expressions of respect, care, and alignment with truth. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November is a call to embrace the possibility of renewal in your relationships. It is a time to release old patterns, to see clearly, to act with presence, and to cultivate empathy and understanding. The energy of these nights empowers you to transform your connections, not through force or effort, but through awareness, honesty, and alignment with your own heart. To honor these hours is to honor yourself and the relationships you hold dear. It is a chance to strengthen bonds, heal old wounds, and step forward with clarity, compassion, and courage. The nights hold the potential for profound transformation, for connection that is real, supportive, and enduring, and for growth that begins from within and radiates outward. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November carries a transformative energy that asks nothing of you, except your willingness to embrace it. These hours are not ordinary. They are thresholds, moments when the world pauses and your own life can shift in profound ways. Change does not always arrive with noise or fanfare. Sometimes it comes quietly, through the subtle currents that sweep through your mind and heart. Midnight on these nights is such a current, a wave that invites you to step forward, to release the familiar, and to embrace the new. The energy does not force transformation, it simply opens the door. Your choice, your awareness, your courage determine whether you step through. These nights remind you that growth is born of acceptance. Midnight on the 29th and 30th is a time to recognize that what has been cannot remain in the same way. Clinging to old habits, outdated thoughts, and limiting beliefs only blocks the flow of life. The wave that arrives asks you to look honestly at yourself, to acknowledge what you have held onto for too long, and to make space for the future. This is not always comfortable. Change rarely is. But the discomfort is necessary, for it signals that transformation is occurring. The energy of these nights supports you in this process, guiding you gently, yet firmly toward the awareness that allows real growth to take root. To embrace change is to embrace yourself. Midnight on the 29th and 30th illuminates the areas of your life where fear, doubt, or hesitation have held sway. It brings into focus the decisions you have delayed, the opportunities you have ignored, and the potential you have overlooked. In these hours, clarity comes naturally. You begin to see where your own resistance has kept you small, where your own uncertainty has limited your progress. And in seeing it, you are given the chance to release it. The wave asks you not only to let go of what no longer serves you, but to recognize that you have the power to shape what comes next. Transformation during these nights is not abstract. It is practical, immediate, and internal. Midnight on the 29th and 30th creates a space where your intentions carry weight, where your choices align more closely with your true self, and where action becomes possible. You may notice thoughts arise about the life you wish to create, the habits you wish to change, and the person you aspire to be. The energy of these hours strengthens your resolve, sharpens your focus, and ignites the courage necessary to move beyond fear. Change is not something you wait for, it is something you step into, guided by the heightened awareness of these nights. There is also a rhythm to this transformation. Midnight on the 29th and 30th does not rush you. It teaches patience, reminding you that growth is a process, not an event. The wave of energy flows, but you must move with it deliberately. Sit with yourself, notice your intentions, and feel the pull toward what is authentic and true. Allow the insights, the clarity, and the inspiration that arrive in these hours to guide you step by step. Transformation is not about sudden leaps. It is about consistent, conscious movement toward alignment with your own potential. These nights also reveal the connection between inner change and outer reality. As you embrace the wave of midnight on the 29th and 30th, the shifts within you ripple outward. Your thoughts become clearer, your choices become more deliberate, and your actions become more effective. The energy of these hours creates a bridge between your inner self and the world around you. What begins as reflection, acceptance, and awareness manifests in tangible ways. Opportunities appear, relationships shift, and challenges are met with greater clarity and resilience. The wave of transformation is both inward and outward, internal growth creating external change. Courage is essential during this time. Midnight on the 29th and 30th asks you to confront the parts of yourself that resist change, that cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves you. It asks you to step into uncertainty with trust, to take action even when the path is not fully clear, and to commit to growth without hesitation. The energy of these hours supports you, reinforcing your strength and reminding you that every step forward, no matter how small, carries momentum. Growth is rarely instant. It is deliberate, consistent, and fueled by presence and awareness. Embracing the wave of midnight on the 29th and 30th also teaches the importance of alignment. The energy that arrives in these hours aligns you with your own truth, your values, and your highest potential. It encourages you to make choices that resonate with your authentic self rather than following fear, habit, or expectation. The nights strip away illusion, revealing the clarity of what matters, the direction in which you must move, and the possibilities that await when you act in harmony with your own inner wisdom. By the time midnight passes on the 30th, the transformation begun in these hours carries forward. The wave leaves traces in your mind, heart, and spirit. You feel lighter, more aware, and more capable of navigating life with purpose. The choices you make are informed by clarity, guided by courage, and aligned with growth. The energy of these nights is not temporary. It sets a rhythm, a tone, and a foundation for ongoing transformation. It teaches that embracing change is not a one-time act, but a continuous process of awareness, acceptance, and conscious action. Midnight on the 29th and 30th of November is an invitation, a call to step into the flow of growth, to release the old, and to embrace the new. It is a wave that asks for your presence, your awareness, and your courage. It does not demand perfection, only willingness. By honoring these hours, by allowing the wave to touch your mind, heart, and spirit, you align yourself with transformation, clarity, and self-realization. These nights hold the power to shift your life, to awaken your potential, and to guide you toward a future shaped by conscious choice, authenticity, and growth. The wave comes for those ready to embrace it, and in doing so, you step fully into your own power.